I am Dr. Kanchi Bajpai, an assistant professor, guest faculty in the Department of English, Pandit Sundarlal Sharma, Open University, Chhattisgarh, Bilaspur. Today, we will be learning Toru Dutt, biography and literary contributions. In this, we will mainly deal with these chapters, which are her life, her personality, Toru Dutt and Indian English poetry, her publishing career. But before proceeding further, let's see what we have already learned. We have already learned about history of Indian English literature and literary devices such as metaphor, simile, symbolism, mysticism, autobiography and conventional poetry. Now let's begin with today's topic. The year 1856 was a remarkable year in many ways. It saw the beginning of the Great Indian Uprising against the British rule. This was also the year when Victorian novels reached their finest stage of maturity in the hands of many great writers. In this year was born Toru Dutt. On March 4th, Toru was a very weak, frail and delicate girl. Her condition did not improve with advancing years, but rather continued to be a source of worry to the entire family. On August 30, 1877, Toru Dutt breathed her last and passed away aged 21. Her end here was very peaceful and happy. It is one of the amazing but sad truths that some talents blaze like meteors and disappear forever, leaving the world dazzled with their brightness and keep the generations that follow wondering what would be the literary scene had death shown some mercy. Indian English literature has its own share of young geniuses cut away in the prime of the youth. Toru Dutt is remembered not because she died at the age of 21, but because poetic lines flowed from her pen effortlessly both in French and English, expressed such pure beauty of the soul that one felt they would continue to spread their ecstatic music with ears that awaited her in future. But years did not await her, and she died a young girl. Outwardly, Toru Dutt appears to be a fragile girl, petite, not tall, and well built, yet exuding an exotic charm of her own. From the rare photographs that exist, we see her hands resting on Sister Aru's shoulders. She poses in full Victorian dress, which is buttoned up to her neck, the formal dress below to her ankles. Her face with its large black eyes and full lips is recognizably Indian. She was prone to illness and most of the time remained sad. Brooding type, having been subjected to bereavement, first of her brother and then her sister, with whom she had got into perfect mental and sentimental rapport over literary interests. Illness nagged her persistently. It is necessary here to understand that women in the 19th century lived within strict limits set by a society that prided on being rooted in religious conservatism and squarely declined to accept changes. Toru Dutt was one of those women who openly challenged this orthodox static arrangements. She belonged to a generation of writers frowned upon the traditional worn out systems, having realized that a new symbiosis between the living elements of the Oriental and radicalizing currents of new Western thought can rescue the country and place it on. One does not know what Toru Dutt would have become had she lived a full life. There is hardly any exaggeration in conjecturing that she had the tendencies to become a first-rate writer and thinker. There were few poetic glories which, given maturity, she could not have achieved. Toru Dutt appeared on the literary scene when the first generation educated Indians had become and begun forming a substantial body of writings that the Western reviewers found interesting. That follow Milton's poetic method of evoking epic grandeur by the use of elaborate similes and descriptions in resonant lines. Toru Dutt arrived precisely at this juncture, caught between the two worlds, one the Indian and the other Western world. The poetry gained in depth and appeared to be trying to come in its own, seeking to look inwards to the wealth of themes and technical features. Savitri, Toru Dutt's Savitri, featured in ancient ballads and legends of Hindustan, is a narrative poem recounting the devoted Princess Savitri's battle against fate to save her husband Satyavan from Yam, the god of death. Using themes of love, devotion, and courage, she tricks Yam into restoring Satyavan's life. Lakshman, Lakshman by Toru Dutt, is a dramatic ballad based on the Ramayana, depicting a tense dialogue where Sita forces Lakshman to leave her alone to save a crying Ram. Despite knowing his duty to protect her, he reluctantly draws a protective circle, the Lakshman Rekha, before departing, highlighting themes of devotion, fate, and emotional turmoil. Jogadhya Uma. Jogadhya Uma is a poem by Toru Dutt from her collection Ancient Ballads and Legends of Hindustan. It tells a mystical folk tale, often told to her by her nurse, about a peddler of bracelets who receives a vision of the goddess Uma, Parvati, in the forest. The poem is considered a prime example of her romantic and spiritual poetry. The Legend of Dhruva Bhutto. Bhutto by Toru Dutt, taken from Ancient Ballads and Legends of Hindustan, tells the tragic story of Ekalavya, that is Bhutto, a devoted tribal boy from the Mahabharata who seeks to learn archery from Dronacharya. Despite being rejected by the master, Bhutto teaches himself by practicing before a clay idol of Drona, achieving superior skill. When Drona demands his right thumb as Guru Dakshina, that is fees, to secure Arjuna's place as the best archer, the noble Bhutto willingly sacrifices it, embodying ultimate loyalty, sacrifice, and humility. Sindhu. Sindhu from Toru Dutt's Ancient Ballads and Legends of Hindustan is a tragic poem based on the Ramayana, narrating the accidental death of a young son at the hands of King Dashrath. Mistaking the youth for an animal drinking water, Dashrath kills him, only to face the heartbroken parents who predict his own death through grief. Prahlad. Prahlad by Toru Dutt, found in Ancient Ballads and Legends of Hindustan, is a narrative poem detailing the Hindu legend of the young, devoted Prahlad who remains steadfast in his faith in Lord Vishnu despite persecution by his arrogant atheist father, King Hiranyakashipu. The poem highlights the triumph of faith over tyranny, culminating in Vishnu's intervention to destroy the king. Sita. Sita by Toru Dutt is a poignant poem featuring a story within a story, where a mother narrates the mythological tale of a pregnant, abandoned Sita finding refuge in Valmiki's serene forest hermitage to her three captivated children. The poem vividly contrasts the peaceful, picturesque, and lush landscape of the ashram with the deep sorrow and emotional turmoil experienced by Sita. Toru Dutt appeared on the literary scene when the first generation of educated Indians had begun forming a substantial body of writings that the Western, especially English reviewers, found interesting. Most of the literary output of the Indians generally went unheeded. That follows Milton's poetic method of evoking epic grandeur by the use of elaborate similes and descriptions in resonant lines, was a pioneering Indian poet and novelist who bridged Eastern and Western traditions, writing in both English and French despite dying at 21, known as the Keats of Indo-Anglian literature. Her brief, intense career produced notable translations and original poems that blended romanticism with Indian mythology. Toru Dutt, an Indian poet and novelist, was a pioneer in women's empowerment and social justice in colonial India. Her poetry addresses various social issues such as feminism, colonialism, and the unprivileged. Dutt's lyrical style often reflects an Eastern sensibility in depth to Western influences. Toru Dutt was the first Indian poetess to write in French and English, gaining recognition during the colonial era despite significant criticism in that era. It is in the poetry of Toru Dutt that the soul of India is really revealed. It was Sarojini Naidu who carried the lark left incomplete by the early death of Toru Dutt. Her poetry is pictorial, has a romantic coloring and smooth rhythms of the Georgians and shows perfect mastery over her chosen medium. She achieved signal success in the noveling of Indian imagery and the expression of Indian personality. Born in Calcutta, she became fluent in Bengali, English and French at a young age, even learning Sanskrit in her final years to translate ancient Indian legends. Dutt was prolific in the field of music and had considerable interest in paintings. In next lecture, we will be learning line to line explanation of the Lotus poem by Toru Dutt. That concludes today's lecture, which is Toru Dutt, Biography and Literary Contributions. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope to see you all soon with the explanation of the poem The Lotus, which is written by Toru Dutt.